Hi everybody, how the heck are you? So this is another book review, I guess, but I listened to the book instead of reading it, so I don't know if that counts. That's another video for another day. Anyways, yeah, because that's all controversial. I had posts on my Facebook about it, so you know it's a fight. But yeah, today's book I'm going to talk about is His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik. It's book one of Temeraire, which is French for, I don't know, some kind of fucking dragon. Although it's a Chinese dragon. Spoilers. Yeah, everything's going to be a little spoilery in this one. I don't have a picture of the book because I listened to it, so I'm going to put one somewhere if I can find it online. Otherwise, here's the thing. It looks like a fantasy novel cover. There's a dragon swirling around some shit. There you go. And I have a dragon here. Look, see? I came prepared. This, except for Temeraire, which is the titular dragon. Say titular. Titular. It's a good word. Is a black dragon that's Chinese, and yeah. Anyways, this book takes place during the Napoleonic War, and it's historical fantasy fiction, or fantasy historical fiction, or some shit like that. I don't know. It's genre fiction. It's definitely fantasy. But it's sort of like, what if the real world had dragons? Except for nothing else in the world has changed, except for there's dragons fighting wars. So it's it does its best. But like with any book that's kind of like that, I think there's initial problems from the get-go with the idea. So you have to suspend that disbelief. And if you can do that, it's a pretty enjoyable little romp. The book was very well read. And that's almost as important to me as anything else. It was narrated by Simon Vance. He does a great job with pronunciation and characters and pacing and everything else. And I enjoyed his reading of the book, which is almost as important as the book itself to me, because I tend to listen to audiobooks while driving, and they distract me from road rage and murder and also keep me awake. So those two things together, yeah, if it's poorly read, that's a problem. It was actually a pretty enjoyable book, regardless of the narration too. It's a proper novel. It's set in England during the Napoleonic War, like I said, and a lot of this book has to deal with the main character Lawrence, who gets attached to this dragon Temeraire when Temeraire hatches. I'm not going to go into all of how that happens, but basically, yeah, they become a bonded pair, and the adventure ensues from there. Lawrence was a sea captain in the British Navy and a man of manners. It takes him a while to get used to the rough and tumble world of dragon pilots and non-proper society, so he gets offended a lot. He uses the words like "my dear" when talking to Temeraire, and speaks with a very proper tone. And the thoughts in his head are like, what's the best way to behave societally, and if something fits in that realm, which it's an interesting take on things, and I enjoyed it for the most part. He does call Temeraire my dear, sorry, a whole lot. It's a term of endearment, I guess, with dear endearment, whatever. It works, and it's enjoyable. The book spends a lot of time about introducing the couple of Lawrence and Temeraire. They're not a romantic couple, although you could probably ship that if you want. That's what kids do nowadays, right? They ship those things. I don't know. It introduces them and sets up their relationship. There's training involved. There's meeting of other dragon pilots. There's setting up the world stage and how dragons sort of fit into this world. But other than that, it's not a action-packed book. There is a bit of action to it, and what action there is pretty well done. It's just not action-heavy. This book, the characters great, the story light, but it was a fast listen, and it kind of reminded me in a lot of ways of some of the fantasy novels I read growing up. They tended to be like 200 to 300 pages. You could burn through them pretty quickly, and they were just enjoyable. And this kind of fits that mold. I did not realize when I listened to this that there are 8 other books in the series that follow this thing up. I think the first 3 are what are considered the core books, and she kind of wrote those back to back to back. And I will probably listen to those at some point, especially if they're still narrated by Simon Vance. I'm not sure if I'm going to go into all 9. That's a big commitment for me, and I don't do well with commitment. I'm single for reasons, and I move all over the place all the time. But yeah, anyways, it's a fairly short review. I don't want to give away everything that happens. Affiliate link is down below. I'll make like 47 cents, probably at the most, if you purchase it. If you have Audible, I definitely recommend giving it a listen because it should be included in your subscription. And yeah, that's about it. Fly, dragon, fly, fly, fly. Okay, that's my second book review of the year. I've got about 18 to go to keep up with my 20 books this year promise. Yeah, I'll bring back waffles at some point, and I'll do some other shit at some point. But I'm enjoying reading and enjoying talking about books. So the 12 of you that watched last time, thank you. The probably 9 of you that are going to watch this time, thank you. I appreciate it. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that nonsense. Talk to you later. Bye.